What's up? Here I have a post from Niall Boylan, and it says climate change me arse. Now I thought this was a very interesting post because, as you can see here, it says Dublin 14 degrees and rain. Now what I hope that Niall will start talking about, which is what I posted here down below, because this is actually happening on July 9th. Now, as you remember, July 9th, it was a blue, clear sky, and then next of all, you see this sort of stuff happening. This sort of stuff is what's been going on for the last number of years, and if you haven't been paying attention as to what's happening in our skies, you should start paying attention to what's happening in our skies. On a clear blue day, have a look up. Even if it's a clear sunny day with some clouds, have a look up, and you will undoubtedly see this happening. Now, there's my opinion with regards to this, and it's like this. In my view, when it comes to the likes of the energy sector and the government, these people are intrinsically linked. Does it make sense for them to have your lights on for longer? Absolutely. Does it make sense for them to have you put your heating on? Absolutely. You even had mainstream media personalities that were coming out and saying, I'm putting the heating on in July. I'm putting the fire on in July. Like, these people are trying to normalise what's going on right now. I don't remember when I was growing up a summer being this awful. Like, it's actually Baltic this year. And this is where they come with this. They go and say, yeah, it's totally climate change, because they moved and stepped away from this global warming shtick that they were going with for a couple of years. And they stepped completely around that and said, yeah, the globe is warming, but it's also cooling too at the same time. And if you pay more taxes, we can stop the weather from behaving like this. Well, that's an interesting thing to say, because you guys can't fix potholes and roads, but you're telling me you can fix the weather. That's almost like you're telling me that you can control the weather and you are affecting the weather. That's something that's pretty interesting that you've let slip. And to me, that's what you get. And what you get here is an image, as I posted here down below, from the journal. And the journal is somewhere that whenever they post something, and it's like this, anytime they post something, I believe the complete opposite of it, because they've lied in the past as far as I'm concerned. When they say things, I look at it and say, that's a lie. And that's where they've gotten themselves, because when they've told you that Trump is the worst person in history, I'm looking at them like, no, that's not true. Not only that then, but they tell you the likes of the Anthony Fauci fellow's great. They tell you that the sniffles is totally going to get you. I mean, did it? Then they're telling you as well that these things that have been concocted by companies with long histories of criminal behaviour is totally okay. And then they want to omit, they don't want to talk about people having turbo cancers, they don't want to talk about people with cases of the suddenlies or anything like that, you know, they just want to breeze on past that as if it's not happening. So anything that these people are saying, I believe the complete opposite. Now, that's the rule of thumb for me. And look, it's like this. That's fair enough. We all have different opinions and views. But when I see you coming out swinging this hard to try and say this, I'm looking at it, I'm like, now you've drawn even more attention to this, and I'm delighted with that. So as they show you here with this image, and it comes from Shutterstock Frank Wagner, which goes to show you how much of this is going on and how across the globe this really is. You have states in America, just as an aside, that have banned this. They have banned geoengineering. You have had Dubai only recently say that their flooding was caused by this. And yet then you have these goofballs in the journal going, it's not a problem, it's actually a conspiracy theory, and the minister is saying it is. Like, shut your mouths. What are you talking about? Anybody with any shred of common sense is looking into the sky when it's a clear day, and they are seeing these lines be drawn, and then it dispersing like this, and it blocks the sun, and not only that, then it creates clouds and wet weather. This is what's happening. It's happened again and again and again. And it seems quite interesting to me that this is regularly happening on clear days. There are some people that are out there online that are actually looking into this and are captive with the likes of flight logs, and are saying to themselves, look at this here, it's flying in from England, allegedly, speculatively, and it's doing circles around Ireland, and then it's buggering off down back to where it came from. Weird that, isn't it? Because then that leads into the points that they make here in this article. But before we jump into that, let's have a look at the headline. Debunked. Oh my god, guys, the journal have debunked it. They have told you that this isn't true. The arbiters of the truth, here's what we have. Condensation trails after airplanes aren't signs of intentional climate modification. Says who? Says who? They're not going to quote who's saying that. Of course they aren't, because they're not going to attach themselves to it, because guess what will happen in the next 10 years? They'll go, whoopsie, that actually is happening, we shouldn't have been doing that, and here's another scandal for reeling in the ears. The governments that have preceded this current government, which will undoubtedly be embroiled in many scandals and has been embroiled in many scandals, but they don't like to do the reeling in the ears too much now anymore because they'll wake too many people up. But like, you used to see year after year, scandal after scandal emerging. Yeah, we weren't doing that. No, actually, we were doing that. And this is a thing that's worldwide, by the way. It's not just unique to our country. It's unique to politicians and governments and people that are in these sectors. The lies that they tell is unbelievable. So, why would you ever believe these individuals? Chemtrail conspiracy theories. Now, when it comes to a conspiracy theory, as far as I'm concerned, you're a conspiracy theorist if you believed that the sniffles was going to get you over the last couple of years, and you're also a conspiracy theorist if you think that companies with long histories of criminal behaviour were your saviour. Like, you're a conspiracy theorist to me. And what they want to do is, with the words chemtrail and conspiracy theory, is they want to try and make it sound as if someone's some crackpot that wears a tinfoil hat or something like that. Now listen, I'll wear the tinfoil crown all day long, no problem at all to me, no bother at all to me. But these people have now lost all credibility, and what has happened right now is it's been proven with this image, in my opinion. These conspiracy theories often claim the government is dumping poison on its own population. It wouldn't be like the government to do things that were wholly negative for the people. Sure, it wouldn't. It wouldn't be like the government to push things out that made no sense without any science behind it and push it out for a couple of years. Not only that, then it wouldn't be like the government to engage with companies with long histories of criminal behaviour, sign deals with them and try hide evidence for 75 odd years there, and when the data got published then try to bury it as much as possible. Wouldn't be like them at all. It wouldn't be like the government to say to you that, do you know what, it was about compliance, it wasn't about actually keeping people healthy at all. And when you're talking about keeping people healthy, how come the likes of, for example, for the sniffles, how come that was free? And how come the likes of insulin isn't free? How come the likes of chemotherapy or cancer treatment isn't free? How come that's not the case? Do you know what I'm saying? So you want to play the game, I play the game, no problem at all. So they go on into the article, I'll just read it out here for you. It claims that trails of condensation left in the sky after airplanes pass show that the government is intentionally modifying the climate are baseless. According to who though? Oh, it's according to the then Minister of State. Here we go, guys. You've got a big title. Listen, I couldn't care less if you were Lord Farquaad of the Fiddlers. I don't care what you say. You were literally, and this is what they're trying to do here in this subsequent comment here, you were literally trying to tell me not to believe what I see with my own two eyes. Ludicrous stuff. Anybody that grew up in the early 90s or the early 80s or 70s or 60s, this certainly wasn't common practice in the skies, was it? It certainly wasn't when I was a kid. So anyway, they move on and say the then Minister of State at the Department of the Environment, Climate and Communications, Jack Chambers. Now they don't say this in the article, but he's also recently come out as a homosexual. What are the odds of that? That's very unusual, that, isn't it? So anyway, was questions about it in the Shannon last week where he confirmed. Now they have confirmed underlined and in bold, they do, right? As if you were supposed to take him seriously. He confirmed this. Oh, so this politician, a career lawyer, that's what I call all politicians. Not if they're on our side, we have to wait and see what happens with our guys. But on these people's sides that have been in these long, I would say, legacy parties, career lawyers as far as I'm concerned, he confirmed, listen to me when I tell you this, right? If he told me that water was wet, I would still go, That's the level of deceit and distrust that these people have sown in people nowadays. This is what they've done, and it's their own fault. He confirmed that Met Éireann has not conducted such weather modification. Now, what he says there in that comment is this, right? And this is just my opinion again. I'm just giving my views on these points. When you say that to me, when you say Met Éireann hasn't conducted it, you're not saying that they're not happening. Like, Met Éireann might not be doing it, but Paddy's Balloons might be doing it, and you're just omitting Paddy's Balloons. You see what I'm saying? That's what they call misinformation. It's information that they want you to miss. So Met Éireann are totally not doing it. They haven't got the fingers in the pie there. Don't mind that at all. But that's not to say that someone else doesn't have the finger in the pie. And they're just not talking about that person. They're omitting who that person is. Do you get me? Now they go on to say then, nor do they know of any such tests in Irish airspace. So, just breaking this down. That's like you being inside a house with one other person and there being Twix bars on the counter, right? Now, I'm using Twix bars in particular because a politician that was engaging with Twix bars not too long ago, I'm sure you'll Google it after this video, you'll get a bit of a chuckle out of that, but also goes to show you who these people are. But that's like you being in a house with one other person and there's Twix bars on the counter and the entire packet of Twix bars are after being eaten, and there's paper scattered everywhere. Now, you didn't eat them, right? But the other person that's in the gaff is going, I didn't eat them either. That's the equivalent of what they've done here. It's like, okay, yeah, we don't know that this is going on. There's only 2 of us in the house here, and we know that there's people doing this, but no, we don't know of anyone doing that. You know what I mean? Like, how absurd is that? Like, you're literally just saying to people, we don't know anything about that. So to me, breaking it down very simply, you're just saying again to me, we don't know about that, but that doesn't mean it's not happening, is essentially it. These white stripes are not natural clouds, another social media user wrote. This is solar geoengineering. Now, that is added on to a point where they decided to attack the National Party within this article. This is not a conspiracy theory anymore, one former National Party local candidate wrote on Facebook next to photos of streaky clouds in the sky. You're going to have a rebuttal to that, aren't you? Oh, no, you didn't. It is without a doubt that the Irish Aviation Authority has approved this. It is obviously trying to blot out the sun. Now, when it comes to the Irish Aviation Authority, again, this is where the likes of the journal and the media and the government can come and go, no, it's not them. It's not them. They're not doing it. Do you see what I'm saying? But Paddy's Balloons is over here in the background and nobody knows what's going on with regards to them. Do you get me? So, this is what they're going to do later on down here in this article. No, it's not them. No, you're wrong, you are. But Paddy's Balloons over here and he's not worrying about nothing at all. But the claim, again, it's not untrue. That's actually what's happening. One Instagram account with more than 7,500 followers features more than 1,860 posts, almost all of which consist of conspiracy theories. Now, this pisses these people off something terrible. They're like 7,500 followers. Like, the journal would love to have a legitimate amount of followers that are 7,500 and have that much traction. Isn't it interesting, by the way? And what I want to just factor in here is they are telling you about a social media user who is unnamed. They're telling you about a former National Party candidate, and they're telling you about an Instagram account there. Like, this is how powerful social media is. You're inadvertently also letting me know that you're showing how powerful social media is and how powerful this dialogue is between people. See, this is why the government, the NGOs and media are rattled about people having free speech and talking amongst themselves, because questions like these are coming up and they're getting somewhere, because we'll get to it in this article. So, including claims that the government is trying to modify the weather, but also iterations of the chemtrail conspiracy theory, which states that secretive powers are spraying people with nefarious substances through commercial airplane trails. Now, that factors into what people are talking about, which is the likes of the rise in asthma, allergies, and various other different diseases that didn't exist, according to a lot of people, over the last number of years. A lot of people are starting to question about autism, for example. You've got Bobby Kennedy in America that's making a big play for what's going on with regards to that. How has the number dwindled down to, I think it's like 1 in 36 now in America, which is a frightening number, considering that only a number of years ago, I think it was like 1 in 100,000. You know, and again, those numbers are possibly not accurate, but these are the types of things that are going on. It's come from a huge number down to a tiny number in record time. So there has to be causes for that. Now, people will draw different conclusions with regards to that. Is it this stuff? Is it combined with the food? Is it pesticides? Is it other things that you were told were totally super duper safe here the last couple of years, but were not so much? Many versions of this theory have been debunked, so that's underlined as well. The original theories were spread in the United States in the 1990s and were often speculated to be about weather modification, though many also theorised it was a government program to test out poisons or deliver a chemical agent to their own populations. Wouldn't be like the United States government to be up to no good, would it? I have many opinions on them. But anyway, though, as experts pointed out, who's the experts though? Like, who? Dumping aerosolized chemical kilometres from a target would be an incredibly ineffective and remarkably visible way of doing so. I mean, the stuff that they say here is quite interesting. However, accusations of weather modification from planes are not so readily dismissible. The only current attempt at weather modification, cloud seeding, does involve releasing silver iodide, AGL, or is that AGI? One or the other. It's unclear from this article the way they've done things. A harmless and naturally occurring substance from airplanes in the hope of producing raindrops. Its efficacy, however, is questionable. So they've literally just confirmed that this is totally happening. And not only that, right, but it's about 3/4 of the way down the article after they've shit talked loads of people, and now they're like, cloud seeding is totally happening there, guys. Clouds themselves can have significant effects on surface temperature, with one NASA study estimating that they generally cool the Earth's surface by about 5 degrees Celsius. And when it comes to NASA, by the way, if you've ever looked into something, look into this. It's called Operation Paperclip. I'm telling you what, the amount of people that don't know about that is unbelievable. But I'm sure if you listen to this channel, you know that. So we'll move on, and it says that these people, right? These people are talking about papers and everything like that we're not reversing climate change, we're not doing anything about this. But guess what, guys? The question was put to the Minister of then State of the Department of Environment, Climate and Communications, Jack Chambers, last Thursday by Senator Sharon Keoghan, who said of our fellow senators, each and every one of us gets emails daily on this particular issue. That is phenomenal. They are letting you know that your emails now are impacting them and they are wise to what's going on. Now, what I would like to see is, I don't want to see talk with regards to this. I want to see Senator Sharon Keoghan and various others. If you're a person that's out there that's emailing them about this, and I have to say, I tip my hat to you. Thank you for what you are doing. You are doing an incredible service here. Tell them to get this banned. And bring in the articles from the likes of the United States of America. Bring in the one from Dubai. And tell them, tell them, you want this banned. I don't want to talk about this for the next 5 to 10 years and then they go, oh, by the way, that was dangerous. We shouldn't have been doing that. I don't want that. Ban it now. This shouldn't be happening. However, Chambers was able to provide the Shannon with a succinct response. Of course, now that's according to the media. Met Éireann confirms that it has not conducted any climate or weather modification programs. So, like I said earlier on, Met Éireann has said that. But what about, say, for example, Paddy's Balloons? Is Paddy's Balloons involved in this? Now, someone's out there that's like, I run a business called Paddy's Balloons and you've affected me here, Ninja. Shocking. Listen, I'm just thinking here. I'm just making stuff up as I'm going along with regards to names here. I'm thinking off the cuff. Or weather modification programs, and is not aware of any such activities in Irish space. So basically, it's like, you know, we've closed our eyes to this here. We're not seeing it. Don't mind that, guys. We're not worried about that at all. And you guys, this is essentially what this article, breaking it down into a very quick point here. You guys are noticing something. Stop noticing it. You're a head case if you notice it. This is essentially what they're saying. Alright. And we're totally not involved. We don't know anybody that is involved. Well, in fact, we're omitting if we do know anybody that's involved. We're just saying that Met Éireann aren't doing this. And they're not aware of anyone that's doing this. So it doesn't really let you off the hook. So that's my little piece with regards to this here. It's an interesting topic because, like I said, this is happening. And it's in front of your very eyes. It's been banned, as I'll say once more, in states in America. It has been identified as the cause of the floods in Dubai. But of course here you have ghouls that are running around claiming titles here in our government that are saying, don't worry about that. Well, I tell you what, guys, they should be receiving more emails, courtesy emails, polite emails. And what I would also encourage you to do is this: attach images of said weather patterns or whatever you want to call it. You know, geoengineering is what I would call it. Attach the images of it, multiple ones, date them, whatever it might be. Tell them where it is, Carlow, Kilkenny, Dublin, Donegal, wherever it might be, and say this is going on here. Because the more people are coming together on social media, they're realising that this is going on, and it is having a drastic impact on our weather. It is also having a drastic impact on your finances, because you're having to heat yourself and heat your home in the summer, which is outrageous. And what this government intend on doing, and to me, what they intend on doing is this: the colder it is for you, and the more heating you use, it's good for them because they're earning. So why wouldn't this be a positive thing for these people? There's many different things that they like. They go on their junkets away to foreign countries, to warm countries all the time. They have millions in the bank, lots of them. And they go away to foreign places. They're not worried about you sitting in this country thinking that's cold and damp or anything like that. They will be worried though when there's a couple of 100,000 you email them saying, we know what's going on and we see what's going on, give it up now. That'll start putting the shits up them. And that's the way it should be going. Because people should, and when I say that, I mean politically, or I mean democratically, where people are going, here, you start doing something about this, ban this. Because that's what should be absolutely happening here in this country. And you need to be upset about things like this because, again, this is stuff that's been pumped out there that nobody knows what it's going to do, long-term effects. Nobody knows what current effects it is putting on to not only you when you're out and about in it, but also the produce that's grown through our grounds, because that's where the rainfall's hitting. It's hitting produce that's here. So, again, this is something to me that needs to be removed ASAP. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. Make sure you like, share, subscribe, and I'll talk to you later. Good luck.